Hey, folks, welcome back to another episode of Lowcountry Lowdown. It's your boy C-Town. I am here with the esteemed, the great, the powerful James, the Dominator, Dominici, my man in the house. James, thank you so much for doing this, buddy.
Hey, it's a real honor to be here with you.
I'm sure it's a real honor, James. I know this is a major publication, and I'm sure you were all butterflies, just worried about all the millions and millions of people that are going to see this, but I think you're going to do great, buddy.
Yeah. Your reputation precedes you. So I've heard a lot of good things about this podcast. I know it's going viral
Absolutely
throughout the nation, but
we can't keep up with all the fan mail, James. I mean, it's my mailbox is overflowing.
Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world.
It's only going to get worse after this. We got such a hot star in the cast today, but. In all seriousness, James, I've known you really since the start of my real estate career. I don't know exactly how long you've been doing it, but you've been doing it a little bit longer than me, at least, because you were there when I got there. And you've always been a great friend of mine. You've been a good agent.
Likewise.
I appreciate you taking the time to come on. So let's do a little sports update, folks. Brandon Bussey, my God, James, you watch any hockey?
Actually, no.
Well, brother, let me tell you about a fella by the name of Brandon Bussey. Tightest goaltender in the league. Now, this guy, so here's the storyline. Carolina Hurricanes made the Stanley Cups. First time in the Stanley Cup in like 20-something years, all right? Playing the Vegas Golden Knights, the boogeyman, the devil, the worst people you could ever think of. And we had our goalie in the net, Mr. Freddie Anderson. He's usually pretty good, but he was fighting injuries all year, wasn't too hot. Put him on the bench, brought in this fella, Brandon Bussey. I believe it's his first year in the NHL. He got pulled up from the minors and was just lights out, did great. And the final game 6 of the series, pitched a shutout, didn't let a single goal go through, and now Carolina Hurricanes, Stanley Cup champions. So, bam, there's our sports update for the day. Also, Robert, you've been following the Knicks still?
Yep.
Turn your mic on.
Oh, there it goes. Hey, everybody. Good to see you guys and listen to my voice. Yeah, I have. Yeah, they won it all. Yep, they won it in 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
They did a great job. I think it's been like over 50 years since they won a championship. So
that's crazy.
New York is turning to like Gotham right now, and people are just riding in the streets.
Do you think they're riding in Raleigh, James, and for the Canes, or no?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. I'll tell you though, that Mom Dami probably can be mayor as long as he wants, man. You bring the Knicks a championship, I think he's
no doubt.
His ticket is sealed, man.
Maybe
his ticket is sealed. Well, anyway, y'all may recognize this is not our glorious normal studio. This is a little bit different. We're here in the beautiful town of Santee. We were hanging out in Center Pointe, new development here in Santee. We've been out recording a lot of videos out today. We got a new Santee video coming soon on the other channel. I'll link that at some point. But it's been a good day so far. A little bit rainy. James, we've been talking a lot about this here casino coming into Santee. What have you heard about that?
I hear it's coming. You can't stop progress. That's an old adage that's gone around for a long time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that are supporting the casino, and there's also quite a few that are opposed to it. But the good thing about the casino will be all the new jobs. It'll bring a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunity to this area. People just aren't used to that kind of opportunity around here. With the increased jobs and the economic impact, I think it'll bring growth. That it'll bring a lot more shopping opportunities, newer stores, newer grocery stores. Even, I think in anticipation for what's coming, we have a Zaxby's that's about to open.
Yeah, we saw that.
We have a Dunkin' Donuts that's about to open. That's not a huge deal. But I'm also told there's a Publix grocery store coming.
Publix is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Publix is massive, dude.
Yeah. So
I feel like whenever a Publix goes somewhere, that's a sign that something's changing.
That's a good area.
Right.
All right. You've never seen a Publix in the hood.
Right. well,
maybe went somewhere that went downhill, but not when it was put in, man. This year, because I think from what I've read, it was shot down in the state house or whatever. I don't know if it's the first or the second time they tried it, but it seems to be every time they run it back, it gets a little bit closer. And my thought is like, you just throw enough money at it, it eventually is going to pass. Now, I'm not talking nothing about politics, but it does feel like the more money you throw at something, the more likely something gets passed. I was reading online. I think it's like some estimations have like 4,600 jobs coming in from it. Isn't the population of Santee like 1,000?
Yes, yeah. So we would attract people. There'd be more growth, not only with the merchandisers and the grocery stores and those sort of basic needs. But there'll be additional housing that's needed. Mm-hmm. I work for DR Horton,
right,
and we've tried to get a little bit ahead of that curve with Center Pointe. We don't have many opportunities left here. Actually, only about 14 houses left. So if you want to get in before the casino, give me a call.
Better call Mr. James Dominici. We'll put his phone number somewhere on the screen or in the description or whatever.
But overall, I think that it's gonna, increase the value of property around here.
Yeah.
I think just the existing homeowners are going to find their property values are going to go up a lot. So, if you could get in early, you'll certainly.
100%, man. It's hard to, in the real estate industry, you can get in a little bit of trouble when you get into that like prediction market thing.
Yeah.
But I feel pretty confident. If you have right now, Santee gets like 100,000 visitors a year. They're estimating 4 million visitors a year with this casino that gets passed. Now, I'm not going to sit here and guarantee anything.
I'm not either. I wouldn't guarantee that at all.
It feels as clear as a, you know what I mean? We talk about 40 times the visitors.
Right. It just goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
But then also, some people would argue the fact that you have 40 times the problems possibly as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of people are concerned about that.
Mm-hmm.
People like this nice town. The traffic's not bad. You don't have to wait in line when you go out to eat and that sort of thing. It's a great little town. And so people don't want to lose that feel. I think that feel is always going to exist.
Yeah.
Even if we get the casino, it's going to be quite a long time before.
Well, and it'll take a while to build the thing as well. So even when this thing gets passed, you're going to see a slow growth, because once it gets passed, before they ever start construction, it's going to be, you'll see businesses coming in, neighborhoods coming in. Like you said, I'm sure DR is going to pick up every piece of dirt they can find when that gets, approved along with every other builder. And you'll see that kind of gradual growth. And I think the biggest thing that Santee can do if this gets passed is, the planning committee and the local government is going to have to do a good job of maintaining and upgrading the infrastructure to improve it.
Absolutely, yeah. The infrastructure needs to stay a little bit ahead of things.
Yeah, that's where we ran into some trouble in good old Somerville. Is I think when they built that town originally, they didn't quite expect it to grow the way it has.
Well, that's been South Carolina's whole, quite honestly.
Yeah.
We're everywhere is having trouble keeping up with the infrastructure.
We have great roads here.
But fortunately, Santee has some room to expand. It's not like Charleston, where there's like a finite amount of area.
Right.
So there's room for growth here.
Yeah, that's the problem with the peninsula in Charleston is it's not that they won't build anything. There's simply nowhere on the peninsula to build.
Right.
Everything that can be built has been built. Now, one thing I do like about how Somerville did it when we had all of our growth is, we had Cane Bay next inside, and then on the other side of the interstate, you kind of had old Somerville with downtown Hutchinson Square and all that. And I kind of like that they preserved at least that historical downtown area and kept that pretty much the way it is. And, all the new growth, that's great, more power to them and all that. But they've sort of put that on the other side so you at least can maintain some of the culture and the history of historic Somerville while still having all that new development as well. So hopefully Santee can do something like that. Like you said, I don't think it's, I don't think it's going to lose 100% of its identity, but a change will happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, I can tell you a little interesting fact about Cane Bay.
Please do.
I don't know if you realize this, but about 30 years ago, I was a game warden.
I did not realize
with the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, and that whole area of Cane Bay was owned by a big timber company. I'm not sure which one at this time, but anyway, we used to work through that area, drive those roads, and check deer hunters and that sort of thing. And anyway, it was springtime, and there was we had a lot of complaints about people baiting turkeys. That's illegal. You can't put out corn and that sort of thing and shoot wild turkeys over it. Anyway, it's kind of a redneck thing to talk about. But,
we're in Santee,
but that whole area, whole area of Cane Bay was just a big pine forest. So, people don't really believe that, but you can see some signs of it still there.
A lot of folks don't realize that. Yeah, it was all just woods and a lot of marsh as well.
Yeah.
It's I don't know how they managed to get all them houses in there. We kind of saw recently with the hurricane, a little bit of flooding. It wasn't that bad though, but some signs of what used to be.
Yeah. But yeah, growth is going to happen for sure. But
so I didn't know you used to be a game warden. So at what point? So you were how long you do that for?
So I kind of switched careers. I switched from being in law enforcement to being a fish biologist.
Okay.
And so I did the game warden job for 8.5 years, and then I switched over, and I had like 27 years all total.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's great. I had no idea, dude.
Yeah.
So you were
this
game
is second
warden?
Career.
Game warden, fish biologist, and then straight into real estate.
Well, it wasn't straight into real estate. I did a few odd jobs between being the fish biologist and going into real estate. But anyway, yeah, real estate has always fascinated me, and I didn't realize that it was so lucrative. And until later in life. But
it's a good thing to find out.
Yeah. In a way, I wish I had started real estate when I was much, much younger. But on the flip side, I don't know if I'd have the people skills if I had started so early. But I dealt with so many different types of people as a game warden and a fish biologist.
Yeah, you probably learned to be pretty patient as a game warden. I've running into some opinionated folks out there on the waters in the woods, and they all got guns with them too,
Right. So anyway, so that's that. A little bit of history about me.
What does a fish biologist do? Do you just cut up fishes and figure out what's going on in there, or what?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, we would do these studies where we would electrofish for a certain period of time, and we'd harvest all the fish.
Did you say electro? You electrocute the fish? For science.
For science, yeah, but we didn't use a lethal dose of electricity. There's electrofishing boats, and you have to adjust the voltage and the amperage just right so that the fish would not die, basically.
And what was the point of that?
So you could
just see what happens.
Sample the population. No.
Okay.
No, we sample the population. Let's say we'd go for 10 minutes. And we'd go along this edge, and we'd collect every fish with a net. We'd put it in the boat, and then we'd weigh and measure and release the fish. That was just a simple way of sampling the population. And so there was enough combined data of the bodies of water so that we could compare like year over year, sample over sample, and it would give us a good idea of what the fish population was doing. And so, if we were getting a variety of sizes and that sort of thing, then we knew we had a really healthy population. And that, but if for instance all we were seeing the little ones or big ones or this sort of thing, over a lot of different samples, then we knew that maybe something was off, and maybe we had to adjust the harvest rate, or you hear about like people the DNR changing the limits on stripers and catfish
I heard
and stuff
there's
like
some
that.
Controversy with the snapper right now or something like that.
That's a little bit different saltwater. I'm not sure how they sample all that, but anyway, I just worked on the freshwater side, so
there you go. Yeah, it's game wardens. Sometimes people be yapping about them, but like ultimately, if you want to be able to fish and hunt, over the course of the next few centuries, and you have to have some level of regulation. Like when we first got here, when I say we, I mean the colonials and whatnot. I think it was buffalo was damn near hunted to extinction back in the day.
Right.
And I don't know, that's a slight exaggeration, but ultimately, some of these folks, if you didn't regulate it, they just go, kill and catch as much as they want, and a lot of them don't even eat it. They just, just to BS around and do it. So
Right.
you got to have some sort of regulations. No one likes being told what to do, but it is, it is necessary.
Well, I think there's pretty solid science nowadays, but behind the fishing and hunting regulations.
Mhm.
So to maintain a healthy population, you and provide opportunity for all the people that want to go. I think the from what I'm hearing, and I don't know, I don't stay on top of it as much because I'm pretty deep into real estate, but and I don't even hunt or fish much at all. I would say I don't do that at all nowadays. But in any event, that people just as a general rule, I think fewer and fewer people are hunting and fishing nowadays.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of opportunity out there for those people that want to do that.
Well, apparently not in the Ashley River or the Wando River. This is a bit of a reoccurring theme in our podcast so far. Listen, I don't know what type of electroshock therapy I need to get into. Ain't no damn fishes in the Ashley River, James. I was out there the other day, and I had my bobber, and it was just sitting there, and they were taunting me, James. I was out there on the dock. I had my damn lure in the water. I might have been using the wrong bait. I don't know. But I was out there, and they were just everywhere my line wasn't. They were jumping out of the water and eating flies and stuff.
Now,
just all over the place, man.
What part of the Ashley River? Like in the freshwater, in the tidal area, brackish?
I mean, I didn't taste it, but I reckon.
Which area were you in? Like were you in Somerville?
Behind the Hardee's.
Behind the Hardee's?
In Somerville?
Yeah. I mean, that's still pretty brackish. I think there's some tidal activity there, isn't there?
Well, they don't like worms, apparently.
So I can't speak to that.
Well, I went out there and I put me and my wife went out there at like midnight. I don't know where the kids were. They're in Walterboro with their grandparents. So me and my wife went out there and we were fishing with worms. Didn't catch nothing. We did find some fellow went by. Some very friendly homeless gentleman came by and told us. He said, "Y'all using the wrong bait. I'm gonna go get you some bait." And then he got in his truck and left and didn't come back for a few hours. So I don't know. I guess he didn't get his bait.
When he came back, did he bring bait?
He didn't come back. He just left.
Oh, okay. Well, you say he didn't come back for a few hours. So
we left. He might have come back.
He
might have come back 6 hours later and said, "Where's these dang fishermen?"
No, nowadays I would be the very worst person to ask about what you need to catch fish.
I was hoping.
No, I'm not that guy anymore.
I'm gonna try to electrocute.
I can tell you all you want to know about a house. So.
Well, unfortunately, that's something I happen to have a surplus of knowledge on myself.
That's what I understand. You're pretty good at that.
I try my best, James. I really do. But we were last week on the pod. We were talking about Francis Marion, just yapping a whole bunch about Mr. Francis himself. And I didn't know this, but apparently his old plantation that he had ended up getting flooded, and it is now part of Lake Marion, I assume, not Moultrie. I didn't even realize that. It's kind of crazy, this stuff. I was born and raised in the Lowcountry, and my entire life I had no idea that a large portion of the lake was man-made from, I guess, the dam or whatever they decided to flood. I always thought it was just kind of here, but apparently not.
Yeah, no, it was made. I think there's a cool documentary, I think, that Santee Cooper, the power company, put out. That explains the building of Lake Marion, Lake Moultrie. I think Lake Moultrie, they had pretty well cleared all the trees prior to flooding it, and it was supposed to be a power generating dam,
like a hydroelectric type of deal.
Yeah, that was my understanding. But then when they were working on Lake Marion, they ran out of time. I think the war began. And so they decided that they were just going to leave all the trees. So in the lower part of the lake, I don't know if you've ever been down there, but it's like literally a forest.
I haven't been to the forest at the bottom of the lake recently. No.
Well, you can see the parts that stand above the lake. Actually,
they still they haven't been washed off or whatever.
Oh no, there's quite a few. There's
cool,
quite a yeah. So it's actually kind of unsafe to cross the lake unless you cross certain channels that you know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I see it in little treetops program. I always assume they was just, I don't know, cypress trees or whatever. I don't know much about trees.
Well, some are cypress trees, but you can't see it as well from this end of the lake. But once you go about halfway down, about Mill Creek and, that area, you can look across the lake and you can see a lot of the standing dead trees. So
that would have been FDR that made that call then, I guess?
that was a little before my time.
Well, I reckon
that. I think so. Yeah.
I guess, because I think it was during World War II is what I read. If I'm remembering correctly, I guess they needed to make some power to, kill some Nazis or whatever. Had to get some electricity for that, build some flying fortresses, all that fun stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty sweet area. I don't get out here as much. My family's from good old Florence, South Carolina. Shout out anybody who's ever heard of Florence. But we really, Santee was just a place we crossed going from Somerville to Florence to visit family.
Right.
And that's all it was for us for a number of years. I didn't think nothing about it, particularly before real estate,
Right. I have an interesting question, and it only came up, I guess, because I think about it when I walk the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I'd try to walk this old Highway 301, Highway 15 bridge, which you probably never crossed that bridge in a car, actually, in your lifetime.
No, not in a car. I've seen the poster of the fish. That's about it.
Yeah. I wonder when they put that billboard up there with the fish.
As long as I've had memory.
Okay.
It's been there for a minute.
Yeah. You haven't happened to seen that little video I did. I AI generated the fish jumping off the billboard.
Actually, I think I did. Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
I do keep you're a bit hip with the AI, James, man. I've seen you, man. You've been running that AI.
Well, it's interesting and it's fun. It's scary though. It's scary stuff.
Dude, don't get me started. I'm terrified of it. I think it's evil.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's evil, but you definitely have to be careful. But it's a useful tool, and if you don't embrace it, you're going to be left behind.
Well, and that's it. Just like the casino, there are those who, particularly in the religious community, that view, gambling as a whole. Forget about the economic, just the concept of gambling. In the state of South Carolina, it's been illegal and is illegal. With some rare exceptions for as far back as I know. It's just like that casino. You can make an argument philosophically about the moral implications of gambling, but exactly to your point, if this gets approved, it don't matter your opinions on it. This change is going to come.
Right.
And just like AI, you can make arguments about whether AI is good or bad. It's here, and it's either you're gonna get with it or you're not. Because it's here. For better or worse.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I don't think I kind of joke that AI is evil. I don't think it's literally evil yet.
Yeah.
But whenever it starts thinking, it might.
So back to that billboard, actually.
Yes.
With the big fish.
The important stuff.
I don't know. It's not that important.
I'm
but I just wonder
man.
when that was first, put up there.
I don't know.
I'm sure somebody knows, but
did they?
It's been there as long as I can remember.
Did they? Like artificially increase the catfish population in the lakes? Like not artificially, but like did they breed them and stuff to keep it up down here?
I don't think it's necessary. It's such a fertile environment. There's all those trees. I just don't think it's necessary to stock catfish.
I'm trying my best to get into hunting and fishing. I've recently, as part of my larger, direction in life I'm heading, where I swear I'm becoming more redneck by the day. I'm like anti-AI. I want to get hunting and fishing. I don't know what it is, but I was looking up the limits. I guess it's like 20 or 25 catfish you can get in a day.
Yeah,
that feels like a lot.
I don't even stay on top of that anymore. Of course, I used to know all that, but I don't know. But it is quite a lot.
It doesn't. What could you 25 a day? I mean, I get you're not out there every day, but dang.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fish, man.
You could fill your freezer, feed your family and kids.
Oh yeah, That's my intent. I want to no longer give any shopping center any more of my money. As soon as I get 25 catfish a day, then I'll be fine. I'm never buying. I'm going to eat nothing but canned catfish for years. James.
I hear you.
You got to spend a week out there. You get what's 7 times 25? Here's my math. It's 175 catfish.
Right.
I'll be straight for a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good size one. Probably get a couple pounds of meat out of it. They got some big old boys too out there, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They taste any good?
They do. The real large ones, you have to be a little bit careful how you clean them. You don't want to get that red part.
People talk about them being bottom feeders and this, that, and the other, but
most catfish eat other live fish. They eat some dead fish, but I think they're just as good as.
Only catfish I ever had is I've only had fried catfish, and I feel like that's not really you fry anything, it's going to taste fine. So it's like I can't say you take a fillet and you cover it up in cornmeal and salt and MSG, and you throw it in a deep fryer, it's going to be straight. But maybe that's not, that's not a good accurate representation. You can't do that every day, or else I won't live to eat them 175 catfish.
That's right.
Dead immediately.
But grilled catfish isn't bad.
I haven't had it.
You could, you can cook it any way that you cook any other type of fish.
Yeah. As I reckon, you just can them, and they kind of get cooked in the canning process, and you just do it like that.
Yeah.
Just like canned tuna or whatever.
Sure.
Tastes slightly more rednecked.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I don't eat that much catfish anymore. Like I said,
$25 a day for free.
I've become a little bit acidified, I guess.
We're crossing each other on the way.
That's
going
right.
down the highway.
Yeah, I'm headed to town. You're headed out.
That's right, man. It's just crazy, how much. I don't know. I spend too much time reading, which I know. Reading's a good habit, but it depends on what you're reading.
Right.
And then so I get real fascinated. Recently, I've been into solar flares. You ever heard of a solar flare, James?
I believe I have. You talking about the sun solar flare?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I have.
So it's just this thing that happens every so often. You can't really predict them. They just happen randomly. There's nothing you can do to stop it. And the thing about a solar flare is when it hits the earth, it's like an EMP. It will just black out everything. And the current professional estimate is that if a solar flare happens, it'll take us about 1 to 2 months to get everything back up and running. Problem with that being, if the power grid's down for a month, you got about 3 days before all the freezers, all that's gone bad. Everything's done there. There's no shipping. There's no logistics. And God bless, all the DR Horton neighborhoods in the suburbs and this, that, and the other. We love those neighborhoods. Go by, call James Dominici all your DR Horton needs. If you want a new home, he'll get you there. Have a great interest rate. Probably pay your closing cost. Call James Dominici after you've called me. Actually, call me and I'll call James. But listen,
that's right.
You need an agent for new construction, folks. Anyway, point being, ain't nobody, growing food in their backyards in these suburbs these days. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I know.
And so if that grid goes down, and I'm not, it ain't no crazy conspiracy theory, solar flares can just happen. And you just wonder, well, where's your food going to be?
Yeah. Well, when's the last time one happened?
Robert, can you Google that for me? Young Jamie, can you give that a Google? Robert, give me a Google real quick on that. It was it was pretty recent, like 1800s. It's not that far back.
Okay. I'm just curious.
And that's the thing though, is they're not like they're not structured.
Yeah.
But I think it was the 1800s.
I mean, there's all kinds of terrible things that could happen.
Yeah, you could have.
Yeah, I'm trying to see here because it says, but this is very recently, a couple weeks ago.
No way.
June 3rd, 2026.
Okay.
Well, I don't think they're all as impactful.
Look up when's the last time a massive solar flare powerful enough to wipe out the power grid.
There we go.
Yeah, I
Yeah. See what's going on there.
It was before they had the power grid.
Fortunately, it was 1 week before the power grid. Thank God. No, but I think it was
before Thomas Edison was born. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it was Thomas Edison would have been the second guy, but the first guy thought he had the light bulb, but just got whacked by a solar flare. And then Thomas swooped in actually and got his ass.
It says the biggest one ever recorded, this might be the one you're referencing, is the Carrington event, which happened from September 1st to the 2nd in 1859. And then I guess you could see it like from Earth. And then so telegraph stations, if you remember those.
If I remember them, yeah.
I don't remember those.
I don't recollect, actually.
They caught on fire.
On fire, dude.
Yeah. But then there was one, there was one in 2003. That was one of the largest ever, caused radio blackouts. Man, I was younger. I don't remember that. Maybe not everything. And then there's been it's always going on, but there's definitely a good bit of them. It seems like
that's interesting.
Every 4 to 5 years, a major one.
I didn't realize that was such a thing to worry about.
Well, now you know. Now you got to. Now you might go
something else to worry about.
Not if you get 25 catfish a day. You'd be. Yeah, if you put it in. Now some you can put in the freezer, but if you put them in the can, if you put them in the freezer, the power grid's going to be a problem.
The can they'll last.
You got to put them in the can.
How long will a can of catfish last, or a can of any kind of meat?
FDA approved, or red
approved.
I reckon you get about 5 years. It ain't gonna taste good.
Hey, that's long. I mean, but you'll get through the solar.
I'll get through the solar. Sure.
You'll get through the grid going down.
I think the FDA or whatever. I think they say about 3 years on meat typically.
Okay.
As far as but for the most part, if it's sealed properly and canned properly, you got to get it to the right temp. Don't be trying to just boil it on the stove, get yourself a good pressure canner. This is not advice, by the way. If you get food poisoning, don't call me. But if you seal it properly and it's to the right temp for the right amount of time and it's sealed and it doesn't become unsealed, from like a health standpoint, it should be we're close to indefinite, but it's at a certain point the meat kind of turns to mush and it ain't going to taste very good, but it'll make you not dead.
So, well, that's
great for apocalypses.
Well, that seems like a great alternative. I recently lost a freezer at my house, and I had it full of beef and even had some deer meat in there. And I lost several $100s worth of food.
Yeah,
it was.
I too lost a freezer recently. It was a big divine tragedy.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Well, especially if you don't quite. So what happened in our instance is, I'm not going to say who, but it was an adult in my household that wasn't me. Somebody had unplugged the freezer to plug something else in and forgot to plug it back in.
Ooh.
And about 3 or 4 days later, we said, man, our house sure does smell like death. And come to find out, our garage freezer had been unplugged for a number of days, and it wasn't too catastrophic in terms of financial burden. We only lost a couple racks of ribs and a turkey, but it smells terrible.
Oh yeah,
just rotten meat in the garage. In South Carolina summer, man, I heat up in there.
Yeah, that's the worst.
We just toss out the freezer, man. That's what not to be wasteful, but after that smell, I'm not eating anything out of that. Right, you could soak the thing in. I'm not eating out of that freezer again, Bo. It's just
my freezer just actually quit altogether, so it was kind of unexpected.
So that was no fault of anybody.
No,
it was just
apparently
it was just God called him to the freezer heaven. But I don't know. I'll tell you this, James. Not that I was ever particularly planning or confident about it, but after that smell, I thought, man, I don't think I could ever. If I had to kill someone to dispose of the body, man, I don't know. I'd have to call an expert for that. And I never been around that rotten smell. That was the worst smell I ever smelled. That was awful, dude. That was just terrible. But
sounds like it.
Hopefully this fall, I'm trying to get into more self-accumulation of food. Do some fishing until fall. Come fall, I'm gonna go find me a deer, and then I got to find someone to teach me how to cut it up, because I don't know how to cut them either.
I actually know how to do that. I haven't done that in a while.
We'll do a live podcast episode of gutting a deer.
Yeah, that would be an interesting podcast.
Really I would trust you to do it. You seem like the fella who knows his way around a deer corpse.
Yeah, I do have some experience in that area, but like I said, I've gotten away from that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the deer population will explode if there's not some hunting. So it's not such a terrible thing.
Well, I recently got my license, and I didn't realize.
They are and pretty as they are, and I love to see live deer. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But, I also don't want to run into another one with my car. I actually had a deer. This is a different story. Do you remember that ugly little Toyota car I had? I don't know if you remember it, but anyway.
The car? I thought, was that truck you had a Toyota?
Well, I didn't have a Toyota.
I don't remember you ever had on it. Actually, it was gray. It was like silver.
Yeah,
I remember.
Ugliest little car,
That was right.
And I got some of my most expensive listings driving that car. I think the people just felt sorry for me.
Funny how that happened.
When I pulled up in it.
Like, man, he needs this.
So you don't have to have a fancy car when you list houses.
When I first started, mine was not fancy. That's another story, though. You go on.
Yeah, but so anyway, this car one evening just after dark, a big 8-point buck, I kid you not, ran out from the side of the road and bam, right into the front driver's side fender, crumpled my hood and all that. The car still drove, but the car looks terrible. I still have the car. I need to get rid of it though. But anyway, they can be very devastating. I mean, and they cause death and destruction much worse than that, so.
No, you're absolutely right, man. Like I said, I've never been hunting. That don't mean I ain't killed a deer before. I hit about 4 of them in my car.
Well, to my point exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
They're out there, and it's just crazy, man, because I'll tell you a funny story. You know them deer whistles you can put on your car? They're supposed to ward them off.
Hey, I don't think they work.
I hit a deer. He kicked that whistle right off. He knocked the whistle off. And I'm like, well, that's a damn.
I think it's a deer call.
It might be. I think, it's people spend all this money. They'll get the deer urine and they find the corn. All you need to attract a deer is a V8 engine, and they'll come right to you, brother, and some headlights. For the love of God, those things could jump right out at you, man.
Yeah.
But like I was, we recently got my hunting and my fishing license and all that, and when you get your hunting license, they need you to take that course, and there was some valuable information. Although I will say they spent a good amount of time. They're like, "Hey, don't point your gun at other people." I'm like, "All right." Obviously good to know, but kind of common sense. But I digress. I learned a lot about that, and I always kind of figured, to your point, the limits are to prevent overhunting. But in fact, there's also a lot of concern to your point of we need to encourage more hunting because certain species will grow in population to a certain number. Like boar, for example. No season for boar. They would like you to kill as many of those as you find.
Yeah, wild pigs are a pervasive problem in South Carolina and throughout the Southeast, actually.
Yeah.
And they're very smart, and I read somewhere where they can have a couple litters at least per year of babies.
They reproduce like crazy.
Yeah.
It's the rate at which they breed is you almost. It's almost impossible to keep the population down, short of everyone going out and trying to kill them. It's very difficult. You've seen them down in Texas. I saw this on the internet. They do these. I guess this is just for rich people who are bored or something. But they'll take you on these like helicopter hunts. You seen them? That's some crazy stuff right there, man.
Crazy.
M60 mowing down bighorns.
Yeah,
that feels a little bit.
That's.
I support
no pun intended. That's a little overkill.
It is over. That's what I'm saying. And I get that it's like, okay, they're an invasive species, but like, I don't know if an invasive species means you need to like, go full Vietnam reenactment on them.
But, on the flip side, I don't have $1 million tractor and planter there planting thousands of acres and then having hogs destroy it.
Yeah, no, you're right about that, man. Farming's one of the tightest margin industries there is.
Right.
And people don't realize, you think of old Farmer Joe, he's an old country boy, but you don't realize he had to take a loan out on a $1 million combine to harvest his stuff, man. And that's tough stuff, man.
Yeah. So
we've got some farmland, but we just lease it. We don't farm it ourselves. It's old family land. Yeah. We just lease it. It's, it's way easier.
Yeah. I got you.
You got your folks got some land around here, old Dominici lineage.
Yeah, there's some land over in Williamsburg County that they lease to a farmer.
Dominici, where's the Dominici family come from?
That's actually an Italian name.
I can tell from your voice.
Yeah. Probably. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I figured it was.
But my family's kind of been all over in many different areas of the U.S. I'll put it that way. But Williamsburg County though is our home. Yeah.
Now we that's a town. That's up. I think Lakeview or Lake City. Somebody will correct me on that. It's one of them two where we got that old land. It's been in our family for whoever knows how long. But I don't know when the last time our family lived out there was. Like I said, my parents both born in Florence. I was born in Florence, but most of I was raised in Somerville, so that's all that's ever been home to me.
Right.
And then at some point I may inherit this land if it don't get sold before then. Some cousin or something might sell it off and buy some scratchers with it. I don't know.
Yeah. I hear you.
But I might get it.
Yeah. Well, cool.
We'll just have to see. But that's one of them things as well. We see more and more. It seems like when I have clients that are coming in from out of state, they want to move down to South Carolina, and a lot of them want to be in the suburbs. And then when I talk to a lot of my clients that are SC natives, it seems like, I don't want to use the word trendy, but it feels like more and more people are interested in getting out and getting a few acres and maybe doing a little bit of, not a whole farm, but a few acres and, grow your own little vegetable garden.
Right.
I've seen a lot of interest from that from folks that I grew up with, I went to high school with, and they're talking about. A couple of clients are actively looking right now. People that I went to school with, worked my first job, for my generation, and grew up in the suburbs of South Carolina. And now, for whatever reason, they seem to have more of an interest in somewhere maybe around Santee, maybe Walterboro, maybe St. George, where it's not. I mean, you're only 45 minutes from Somerville here.
Right.
It's not far out.
I mean, you can. How many times have you spent 45 minutes going from Cane Bay to, say, Dorchester Road?
You're absolutely right.
I mean, and you can leave from Santee and you can go to downtown Somerville in 45 minutes.
Well, it take me 45 minutes to get out of my neighborhood sometimes. Right. I'm slightly exaggerating, but I live in Westcott, and beautiful neighborhood. I love it. It's perfect for families. I got 2 young boys, and it's a great neighborhood. One of the reasons we love it is, we've got 2 elementary schools, great schools right there in the neighborhood with the young kids.
No.
It's a great place to be. Now, here's the downside of having 2 elementary schools in the neighborhood and a high school on the other side of the neighborhood is around the time in the morning when school's going in and out and the time in the afternoon when school's, going out.
Yeah.
The whole neighborhood just becomes a parking lot, man. Because, all the car riders get backed up and it's a neighborhood. So it's only 1-lane roads through it, man. And
yeah.
exactly to your point, I talk to people all the time and they say, I want to be within a 40 or 45 minute commute to work. And sometimes I ask them, I say, well, would you like to spend that time driving or in traffic?
Right.
Because if you're not concerned about putting a couple extra miles on your car, it's the same commute to go an extra 20 miles outside of town, depending on where you are sometimes.
Right.
Because Robert and I came from Somerville this morning and I don't think we stopped at a red light once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Clear through it, man.
It's pretty easy commute, generally speaking, from here to Somerville. And once they finish that road construction, I think it'll be at least 3-4 lanes on both sides to I-95.
Yeah, might could be. And again, to your point, I don't know if it was on the podcast or the other video we were doing, but you were talking about the affordability aspect of Santee.
Yeah.
May or may not remain after the casino. We'll see.
Yeah.
But, this may become a luxurious area. Who knows? It might be high dollar. But for right now, the affordability is great. And that's another big issue I see. And maybe you can attest to it as well, is all the locals, people I grew up with, they're all in their 20s. And when you're buying your first house in your 20s and sometimes your early 30s, buying your first house, sometimes it's tough to afford these areas, especially folks grew up in Mount Pleasant. You ain't buying a starter home in Mount Pleasant, but, so a lot of the locals are buying outside and people from out of state are moving and buying in town.
Right.
But it's...
one of our most popular floor plans that DR Horton builds is it's almost 1,800 square feet. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage ranch. It's called the Cali floor plan.
Sold a lot of Calis back in the day in Tampa.
Yeah, so we sell that in Pine Hills for a little north of $400,000.
Yeah.
We can buy that same house here for about $300,000. So one thing I would tell people, I would say, you can buy a house out here in a brand new Prius for less than you can buy a house in Pine Hills.
You might get a couple Prius,
but don't buy the Prius until after you close on your house.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, house first, car later.
Right,
please.
Right. So
no, you're absolutely right. It's just one of them things. And, granted, maybe, I understand the desire to want to live in Somerville, and it's a great town. But, at the end of the day, picking an area that is affordable to the point where you're not, at the very end of your limits, and also understanding that your first house almost never is your last house.
Exactly.
Everyone that I'm gonna stay in here the rest of their life, and no, you ain't. You're gonna call me up in about 5, 6, 7 years. You got more kids. Your job relocated you or something. You're gonna sell it, and so getting a nice, affordable, reliable investment, that's in an area that's presumably going to hopefully appreciate over time and build you some equity. Is going to be a little bit more important than just getting, everything you want and spending every dollar you have on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to think about tomorrow sometimes. But
absolutely.
I think Santee's a great investment. If this casino goes through, it's going to be very good, in my opinion.
Yeah, my opinion as well. And not only do we have these single family homes here, we also have some beautiful townhomes that are right on the water. There's a dock and everything called Marion Village.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 5 minutes from where we're located.
And those are right up on the water?
Yeah.
How much are those running?
We're starting the mid 200s, like 250. I think they've inched up a little bit, maybe 260, 70.
That's not bad for on the water, though.
No.
What neighborhood is that? Sorry.
It's called Marion Village. They're townhomes. They got 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and 1-car garage. So
nice.
Yeah.
What's up? Tell them about the financing incentives, James.
Financing incentives.
Tell the folks about the financing incentives.
So, that's
you left out the best part.
No doubt. That's actually one of the strongest attractions of DR Horton is the fact that we have some of the best financing in the whole industry, especially new construction. I'm not a lender, but I know at this point in time we offer a 4.99 interest rate, and And we also offer this 1.0 buy down. So your first year payment's equivalent to a 3.99 interest rate.
Right.
It's hard enough to find a 4.99 interest rate nowadays, let alone get that 3.99. And then also we typically cover most of the closing costs.
Yeah.
So we got
absolutely. And you're going to have to forgive me on this, James, but look, DR Horton is a great builder. However, it's not. A lot of people think of DR Horton as like the most affordable option. I do want to make a couple distinctions. Number one, there are going to be cheaper options out there. However, if you're financing, that's one of the big things of DR Horton that makes it a value thing, in my opinion, is I've yet to find a builder who maybe if they're running a particular special, but I've yet to find a builder that will consistently beat them on financing. So it's not necessarily going to be the lowest purchase price, but the financing incentives typically tend to be a little bit more aggressive. And in terms of your overall cost over the course of a 30-year mortgage, tends to be a little bit better. But you have to look at the full picture when you're buying a home. There's pros and cons to buying new construction. There's pros and cons to, okay, well, do I pay, maybe, I don't know, just a little bit more on the purchase price for a 1% better interest rate? Well, that depends how long you're going to be there.
Right.
After if you're only going to live in the house for a couple of years, maybe not. If you're going to live there for a 30-year mortgage, probably there's going to be a point where it becomes a lot more affordable. So, there's a lot that you got to factor in. But DR Horton, I'll give them that. I don't work for them. I work independently brokered. But I will say I've been doing this a long time, and they are pretty aggressive on their incentive programs. That's always been the case.
Let me mention something else that might be attractive to some people. Charleston, Summerville area attracts a lot of military people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because we have the big Joint Base and some other bases. So a lot of those people aren't staying around more than 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
We offer a 3.875. I'm not saying DHI Mortgage offers it. And like I said, I'm not a lender.
Yeah, not
I
us.
don't know all the details of how it works.
Yeah.
But it's 3.875 adjustable rate mortgage, but that rate is locked for the first 5 years for VA and FHA.
Yeah.
And you can't beat that.
No, 3.875 is pretty good.
So that if you're really payment conscious, and you're not going to be here long, that's definitely worth looking into.
No, 100%. Because I've told folks all the time, I've said it a million times, and it's, it sounds kind of, cheesy slogan, but you think about the purchase price 2 times: when you buy the house and when you sell the house. You think about the monthly payment every month for 30 years.
Right.
And so when you talk about, what's your budget, really that's more of a question of how much you spend in a month, and not necessarily any given purchase price. Unless you're paying cash, at which point it's a whole different ballgame.
Right.
But probably, I don't know the exact percentage, but the vast majority of folks in the year of our Lord 2026 are in fact financing.
Exactly.
More times than not. I don't know what percentage, but it's most of them.
Yeah, but we offer essentially the same rate in a conventional loan, 3.875, but it's locked for 7 years. So, that's an option for the people that don't want to go with the government type loans, or they're not veterans. The
government loans. I don't trust the government loans.
Well, the government loans are pretty good loans.
I'm just BSing, yeah.
Those VA loans, you can't beat those.
Yeah, no, it's hard to beat VA. Plus, USD, you do that as well. USDA. Yeah. Obviously, Santee is going to be
Santee is USDA.
For sure.
We do have quite a few USDA available areas.
That's good. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I remember when I first got into real estate. It's funny the things that you think and then you get into real estate and you realize what you don't know.
Right.
But because I was involved in the real estate world, through just property investing, I bought a couple of rental properties before I ever got my license. And I kind of thought I knew a couple things. And then I got my license and I realized how much I don't know. But one of the funnier things that I always thought was that, most of Cane Bay, this suburban metropolis in many ways, is USDA, which you would not think when you look at it. It's just home after home after home after home. It's 30,000 houses. And you go, well, no, technically that's classified as USDA.
That's kind of
you
funny.
Wouldn't think it.
I don't know if it's from my game warden days, and I just always see Cane Bay as a big pine forest.
Certainly it was.
Maybe that's why I think of it that way.
It used to be, yeah.
I did know it was, most of it was USDA.
I reckon it won't be forever. I don't know how quickly they update those things. If they check it every decade or when, I don't know. But it seems like they'd updated it, but it's still there.
I'm sure it's coming.
Oh, yeah. Eventually.
Mom's the word.
Eventually. Don't tell them. Don't nobody call USDA.
That's right.
There's nothing but trees out there, folks. But it's a great program, man. You know, I was talking to some renters the other day. Can't remember if you have to this or not, but, you know, they were talking about, you know, they, I ain't got time right now, but they were, I'm busy. They were talking about, you know, we can only afford, you know, up to $2,500 a month. And, you know, they didn't think you could buy a house less than $3,000 a month. And I'm like, dude, there's options out there. And they thought, well, you got to put 20% down, don't you? And I'm like, no. Sometimes you ain't got to put $1 down, you know, depending on your loan program. And, you know, there's down payment assistance, there's USDA. A lot of people just think veterans the only ones with $0 down.
Right. USDA. Yes.
A lot of, there's one right in North Charleston that we, you know, I ain't going to say the name. I don't want to be distasteful and bring up a different builder when I have my good friend James here on the podcast. But, you know, it was a different builder right in the middle of North Charleston, and they just happened to have a down payment assistance program where $0 down and the monthly payment was like $2,200 a month. And so, I mean, there's options out there. People just don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I could get people in the house out here if they qualify for you know, $1,500, $1,600 a month.
Yeah. And people don't believe it's out there, but it's here. And like I said, it might be a couple extra miles, but time wise, it's just as long of a commute as, you know, probably your neighborhood right up the road, some places.
And I should mention this. We have about 20 different neighborhoods all around the Charleston area. We got some in Ravenel, North Charleston, Somerville. You know, I can help people in any of those neighborhoods.
Absolutely. James does not have borders.
I don't have borders, and I like to drive.
James has unlimited potential. I do believe his state license is the only restriction on Mr. James Dominici. But hell, man, he might even do it. He might even get another state license just for you. But then it wouldn't be Lowcountry.
I don't have time.
No, sir. He's got too many other clients. But absolutely, man. I know you can go anywhere, and you know we always love working with you.
Well, I appreciate that.
He's a good man. You can trust this fella right here. Just make sure to call us first.
Likewise.
But anyway, I think that's all I wanted to put out there in the world today. James, you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah. No, I think we're pretty good. I appreciate you having me on.
The people have heard what they need to hear.
Enjoyable experience. This is my first time.
Yeah,
you know,
you did wonderful, man. You were absolutely you were the casino to our Santee. You're going to be the jolt in the arm, and you're going to skyrocket this ship straight into the stratosphere, James. I just know you got the star power to do it.
I'll just throw out one more thing. We only have like 14 opportunities left out here.
You guys better buy a house right now.
Single family out here, and you want a good low payment.
That's right. But I'm sure. That's right. Call me and I call James. But thank you so much for taking the time, James. I really appreciate you coming on. And
likewise.
Thank you, folks, back at home on your phones, on your tablets, doing whatever it is you're doing for tuning into the Lowcountry Lowdown. We do appreciate it. So please, like, follow, subscribe, whatever. We'll attach James' social media on as well if you want to give him a follow. He's also on the internet. So give us a holler. We love to hear you. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.